Romanian TV. Why I don't debate leftists anymore?
One of the things that really popularized YouTube and made it very trendy among the youth was response videos. In fact, they even had a feature at one point where you could make a response video to someone and it would appear as a link in their comment section. And I like doing that, and I love doing debates, especially with people that I disagreed with. I debated people on the far right, I debated people on the far left, and every now and then I still get subscribers asking me, hey V, why don't you do debates anymore? Especially when they would say, well, such and such asked you for a debate, why don't you want to go? Why don't you have guests on your live stream? And to answer this, I think the best way I can do it is by showing you something. I might get in trouble just by showing it, but this is a very viral TikTok video. It's got 4 million views at this point. I'm not going to editorialize it. I'm not going to say anything. I'll just let it play, and you guys can make up your own conclusions.
The first trans woman to have a successful uterus transplant, ovaries and eggs included. And I want to be the first trans woman to have.
Wait, what? Is this a thing? Are they able to like actually transplant uteruses? Or is it like this like a experimental thing?
An abortion.
Back in 2000,
To be the first. Oh my god. Like I'm pro-choice up until consciousness and pro-life after. Uh, but the fact that like obviously a huge portion of the country is pro-life, and so if you like just purposely want to have an abortion just to fuck with them and troll them, like I don't think that that's like good. I don't think there's anything morally wrong with abortion, provided there's not a conscious being there. Which I mean, that's I've talked before. Consciousness is the only thing that we really care about. But doing it just to troll, assuming that they're doing it before consciousness, say 20 weeks or so, it's still just like it's poor form.
2016, I was dying to get anyone from the left to come on my channel so we can have a pleasant discussion. I wanted to talk with a feminist about what their view is on the patriarchy, or why do they believe diversity is important in comic books. And it was impossible to get anyone. When
True. I was around on politics YouTube, or well, Gamergate YouTube, anti-CW YouTube, whatever, back then, and you could very, very seldom find anyone willing to debate any topic, or even just not even debate, but just like come on, explain your views about X, Y, or Z from the left. Like you can get people on the right to talk about anything; they don't care. But people on the left, they'd be like, "Oh no, we can't go on your platform. You're a Nazi." It's like, well, how am I a Nazi? Well, you have Vivian James as an avatar, or oh, we can't talk about that. You're an anti-SJW. You're automatically in bad faith. Like it's yeah, that's how it was back then. I don't know if it's gotten any better or not. Guess we'll find out over the next few years.
eventually you did get someone, it was usually a troll, like a person pretending to be a left-leaning individual just to come on your channel, or even if you managed to get someone insignificant, it would create a huge audience because people wanted to see the debate. But now everyone wants to debate on the left. You know, the debate me bro groups are skyrocketing, and all of a sudden everyone wants to come on my channel to discuss the ideology. And I believe the reason for it is that there have been certain changes within the terms of service ever since 2016. You see, nowadays, you can have a person that says exactly what that individual has said, word for word, and they are not in violation of any term of service. So in other words, you can have someone that says some of the most radical, inflammatory concepts, and they do not get into any terms of service violations. But if you
Well, if there has been a change where left-wing people are willing to debate, I don't think it's because there's been a change in the terms of service. I think it's almost certainly a couple of different things. One, the left has realized that just canceling people, a lot of the people on the left are beginning to realize that just canceling people, not very effective, right? Clearly not very effective. We got Trump, we got Brexit, we got a bunch of things that people on the left don't like, and censorship and calling people Nazis and racists hasn't worked. Two, I think there have been some people on the left who've gotten really good at it. Like the BreadTube people have gotten, I don't know if they don't really debate people so much, but they've gotten good at making videos critiquing the right. And people like Destiny have done an extremely good job of tackling the right. And the recent Red Pill stuff and white nationalist stuff especially. So they've seen that it can be done, and they've seen that censoring people doesn't work.
you even remotely misstep, if you say even something remotely offensive to them, your channel can get shut down. So I do not see how a debate can happen. I do not see how we can have a conversation, because it's pretty much like fighting with a hand behind your back.
Ooh.
Like, you need to be always careful in what you say, how you frame things, and you need to make sure that you do not even upset the orthodoxy. I mean, I understand even misgendering is banned on YouTube. So how exactly can this be a fair debate? You know, back in 2016, everyone that came on a channel could say whatever they wanted. I remember atheists and Christians having debates. You know, like, there wasn't at any point where the Christian wasn't allowed to say certain things to offend the atheist, or the atheist wasn't allowed to say certain things to upset the Christian. And that was what made it interesting. But now, obviously, you can't. And just by showing you a video without editorializing it whatsoever, I think highlights just how unfair it would be to have someone that says stuff like that, which, again, like, if you go out in the real world, at a pub or whatever, and someone says that, you don't even need to add anything. That's an easy victory. That's an easy win. You just allow the person to talk, and that's it. Like, the public is going to immediately decide which person won the debate. And by the way, you know, this is what social media is like now. Like, this type of behavior is actually rewarded. There are certain individuals on the internet that are suggesting that what that person did is because of a fetish. Or there are persons that are suggesting that this is narcissistic behavior, you know, because they said they want to be the first trans woman that, so, like, they want to make history by doing that before everyone else. But I think it's just how you gain clout. It literally is. Like, you say inflammatory stuff, and as long as the stuff is left-leaning in nature, as you can see, you can just go all out. There is no stopping you. And you're going to offend people. Like, this thing is designed, it is catered to be offensive. So what happens when people get offended? They will give you criticism and backlash. And when you receive criticism and backlash, you claim that you are being attacked for your identity. And then you're going to have people on that side join your channel to defend you. And it's almost like a medal of honor, like how many people you offend by saying stuff on the internet. And if you offend enough right-wingers, then you start generating buzz.
Well, this isn't just a left-wing thing. People love to troll and purposely piss people off just to get clout and just to get a backlash. That way they can claim that they're being oppressed and claim that they're being attacked on the right too. This is definitely a universal human thing.
Trending, you're creating clout, and you get people that are into your channel. This is how you grow. And it's disgusting because a lot of people say, well, TikTok is a mirror of society. Like, this is what's popular in society. I do not believe that is the case. Like, TikTok and other social media websites are not places where people can just have conversations. There are places where people have manufactured conversations because of the trust and safety councils. Like, there are things that you are not allowed to say, but you can say in real life. So there are things that in real life you can say and you do not.
Actually, we're talking about TikTok censorship, censoring me in particular, later today. So it's ironic he brings this up.
Get into any trouble, you do not get arrested, you do not get in trouble with the law, right? Like, they're perfectly legal to say, but if you say them on social media, you get your account terminated. So, for example, if I were to make an account on social media and I do video responses to these individuals, immediately I get shut down because it's an artificial system. I mean, this ideology cannot exist unless it puts the fist into other people's mouths and gets them to shut up. Like, no rational person is going to listen to that and is going to say, oh, wow, that is actually a good thing. You know, I wish science advances to the stage where you can actually do that. You know, especially when you have so many people that want to have children. Like, there is a fertility crisis. Can you imagine just how offensive it is to those people? To say that, well, I want a uterus transplant. So there are many people which actually cannot have children, that do want to have children. And you're like, well, I want the uterus transplant. Like, I want all of this money dedicated to science, to be able to create this monumental human achievement, I guess, that would fix the fertility problem so that I can have an abortion. Like, imagine if you were to go to Africa, where you have a village of people that lack clean water, and you would bring there, you know, like, fresh, clean water, and you would just bathe in front of those people. Like, you would completely waste it. You wouldn't allow them to drink it. You wouldn't allow them to use it. No, you just show them that you have it so that you can waste it. It's kind of like that, you know? Like, this statement went viral because of how offensive it is, because of how many different groups of people it offends. There are even left-leaning people that are offended by this, but they're quiet because, again, like, this ideology is not what you believe. It's how you communicate to other people, and you say the things that are acceptable to be said in a given circumstance. And this is what's encouraged, right? So, like, what debate do you want me to have? Like, there is nothing even to debate. Like, if this person came on my channel and said this, there was nothing I would add. I would just, you know, allow the viewer to make up their own opinion, because I'm not the mainstream media that has to editorialize everything and explain to people why a certain statement is wrong. No, I have enough faith that, like, people would look at that and they would draw their own conclusions without me having to spoon feed them. So, yeah, I mean, this, right? And I see debates when people go and they went on Vash's channel and stuff. It's like, it's the same thing. Like, the right-winger has to constantly be on the lookout for the things they say, for the way they express themselves. And meanwhile, the other side can just ask for the most radical, fringe, extremist stuff to be accepted. And that's how the internet works, you know? I suppose on Twitter it's a little bit different now, with certain topics. But on Twitter, the problem is you have the word limit, so people end up arguing and screaming at each other. But anyway, right. Now I answered the question. This is why I don't have debates. This is why I don't have guests. This is why it's not that I wouldn't know how to debate. It's not that I'm not interested in having debates. But until I will find a platform that is like YouTube used to be, not even necessarily back in 2016, but like, let's say 2018, right? Like 2018, I'm happy with the TOS that existed back then. If we were to revert to those, I would be glad to debate anyone, regardless of political affiliation. But until then, unfortunately, not an option. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.